you and welcome to the Farm Kenya show. My name is Noah Kipkimboy and today we have a very interesting discussion on matters to do. This we're building from last week's conversation or the previous week regards to organic farm inputs. We had stakeholders, regulators in the building in the previous show, and we talked in detail, that was last week but one, in regards to what are the challenges when it comes to releasing more products. Why is it that farmers are not getting the options, the array of options that they need when it comes to organic products? What are the barriers to access to these organic products from pest control point of view, but also even fertilizer being one of them. So today we are carrying that conversation forward and looking at value chain players, looking at the agrovet systems because they work as intermediary, making sure that distribution happens to the farmers. So they get the farmer sentiments, they get to interact with these farmers who walk in and ask, do you have this particular product? Do you have that one? Why don't you have it? And that conversation we had, of course, last week in the previous value chain, but now farmer interaction, and also those people who speak to farmers and advise farmers on how to do better, especially when it comes to matters to do with producing organically. What sentiments are they picking from farmers in terms of their challenges and barriers to have organic inputs as part of their production? So that will be our conversation today in studio. I have on my immediate left, Lynette Wanjala. She's an organic agronomist, and also at the far end, we have James Ngoiri, who is Director IT and Marketing AgroPest Solutions. Lynette, you are an agronomist, you interact with farmers.
I do.
How much of hunger, briefly, do we have, or how much of demand do we have from farmers saying, I want to transition to organic production from the conventional production that a lot of farmers do?
Okay, as I rate maybe over 10, I can rate it as like 8 out of 10. The 2% are still struggling whether to choose to go organic way or they remain in synthetic way of farming. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is their biggest motivation?
The biggest motivation is all about life. Yes, because the cases of cancer, it has been so high. So when you tell a person, let's go organic, it's all about conserving the soil, because out of the soil is when you get the health foods, of which you know the product that you are using, either the fertilizer, either the foliar, the pesticide, or the fungicide.
Okay.
Yeah.
James, you are in the agrovet ecosystem, as they put it, and you interact with a lot of these farmers walking in, and you also get to advise the products that they should pick up. From your interaction, briefly, how much out of 10 farmers, how many are walking in and pulling out a name of a product, and you're like, okay, is this organic product? Why don't I have it? How often do you have that kind of interaction?
So thank you, Noah, for having me. So when we are interacting with these farmers, you understand that the biggest challenge is actually the information in terms of the organic products. So most of the farmers who come and just request the product in terms of I want an organic product, it's just about as Lynette has mentioned, just about 2%. The rest, of course, it's more of the synthetic products which we've they've known over the time. So that has actually been the biggest challenge in terms of adoption of the organic products.
Okay.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. And we'll be able to unpack all these developments from a farmer interaction one-on-one perspective as an agronomist, and also somebody who is a bit up the value chain as a seller of these particular products, to see what are the barriers to access. Are you being given limited products? Are you asking for more? Sometimes the issue of scale when it comes to production, that has been also a concern, and we'll be able to unpack that and see how more people go into organic production. So looking forward to this discussion, James Ngoiri and Lynette Wanjala. But for now, let's head to Agri-News. All right, and we start off with matters taxation and tension combined, where tea, coffee, and avocado farmers could be staring at fresh uncertainty. These after a controversial tax proposal in the Finance Bill 2026-27 sparked concerns across key growing regions, with the sector supporting millions of livelihoods and earnings in the country critical when it comes to foreign exchange. Pressure is mounting on policymakers to rethink the proposal before it deepens the strain on farmers. Stakeholders now warn that high levies on these export crops risk squeezing already thin margins, potentially slowing production and the wider agribusiness value chain.
Mkulima majani chai amemalizwa. Tayari kumekuwa na malalamiko. Kodi za Kenya zenyewe ni 42. Wanunuzi wamepotea kwa sababu ya nyongeza ya nukta 08 tayari ya wanunuzi, lakini bado tunataka kuongeza tena kodi ya 500. Kilimo cha msingi, mkulima kahawa njuzi ndo ameanza kujaribu kuinuka. Hata taasisi ambayo inafaa kushughulikia mambo ya kahawa, Coffee Board of Kenya, haijaundwa. Mkulima huyu anajaribu kuinuka, tayari amebandikwa kodi. Viongozi ambao wanaka katika bunge la kitaifa, mswada wa kifedha ambao mnaletewa wa 2026, mjue kwamba iko na 5% ya kodi ambao inaenda kufinya wakulima majani chai, wakulima wa parachichi na kahawa. Ole wenu kama mtapitisha, kwa sababu ule mswada na wa kifedha haukuji katika bunge la Seneti. Kwa hivyo mimi ningeomba mbunge yote ambaye ametoka eneo ambao linakuzwa majani chai, eneo linakuzwa parachichi, eneo ambao linakuzwa kahawa, msikumbali kupitisha kipengele cha kuongeza nyongeza za kodi katika ukulima msingi wa hizo bidhaa ambazo nimetaja.
Now, one of the biggest factors when it comes to production, of course, we talk about land, but in there is the seed itself. If you lack proper seed, then it becomes a huge challenge. From the get-go, you start on the wrong foot. And the issue of uncertified seeds has been a challenge in our ecosystem. Now, Kenyan farmers could be losing up to half their harvest due to counterfeit and uncertified seed, even as climate change and rising production costs continue to pressure food production. Now, agriculture players and regulators are now pushing for stronger adoption of certified hybrid seed and verification systems to protect farmers from fake inputs.
Most farmers or counterfeiters probably are very good in making products that look similar to the original products. And farmers are not aware on how to get over this problem of counterfeit. The climate is changing day by day. And what we see is that while we used to have traditional long rain season and short rain season, it has changed now that we're having very short rainy seasons that are accompanied by very heavy downpours. We're also experiencing change in temperatures, higher temperatures than normal. And this forces us to adapt our technologies to invent, to research for hybrids that will be able to go with these changing weather patterns.
If you don't use certified seed, then of course you will get maybe half of the yield. So you will lose almost half. That is the effect to the economy, is a 50% loss. So it's a big impact, and that's why we are on the ground as a government, the Ministry of Agriculture, KEFIS, to make sure that farmers are protected.
And lastly, of course, when it comes to food production, the inputs are very important, and we've talked about organic inputs. One of the challenges with synthetic inputs has always been the chemical components and the impact on health. That's why you see post-COVID, once we realize we need to eat healthier, a lot of people are seeking organic options when it comes to food. And to help reduce diseases associated with consumption of chemically produced food and safeguarding the environment, a section of farmers are now rooting for increased government funding towards agroecology farming to help restore degraded soils and improve food security.
Agri and then ecology. It means farming without harming the environment. So it means using organic inputs, using local seeds that even last longer, they are resistant to diseases and issues like that. So for us, we are promoting that because it has good health. The food is safe for you. Number two, when you even taste it, it's even sweeter compared with this other one.
If you are going to use chemicals, we use biopesticides. Biopesticides are chemicals that have come from biological systems. They could be either organisms, they could be extracts from plants, and those ones are good because although they contain chemicals, they have not been stabilized.
Una uhakika ni dawa gani zimetumika pale. Wewe unachukua chakula na unaenda kukula. Wakati unakula inaanza kuwa na madhara kwa sababu imetumika madawa mingi sana. Lakini kwa hii ukulima yetu ya synthetic, ya agroecology as opposed to synthetic, unapata ya kwamba tuko na mazao ambayo uko na hakika ya kwamba ukikula chakula ambacho tumeikuza organically, you are 100% sure ya kwamba unakula chakula safi.
And today on our Farm Guide segment, we are heading all the way to Nigeria and specifically touching on the beekeeping sector. Although it's still nascent in the country, experts project that it could be worth around $10 billion if properly utilized. And this is quite interesting. Now, this particular story expounds on the potential of beekeeping in Nigeria and is in partnership with Vari.
Nigeria's beekeeping industry is a small but rapidly growing sector, with some experts suggesting it could be worth up to $10 billion with the right development and access to global markets.
We'll not be killing the bees.
One of the benefits of propolis, we use it for toothaches. If you have toothaches, you can use propolis to heal the toothaches. It's an antibiotics that can be used. It's you can use against cancer too. There are some capsule that they made from propolis because the bees, they get this propolis from different sap of the plant in the forest. So human being can use it as an antibiotics.
While some research has found that honey may have potential and anti-cancer properties, it is not a proven cure or recognized cancer treatment. He also admitted to injecting himself with bee venom for its immune system benefits, although again, this is not advisable or a proven treatment.
They can use it to look at the water quality, because bee can go as far as how many kilometers? Let's say 7 kilometers. They can forage about 7 kilometers. Then you don't need to look around to start looking for water. You to test for the water quality around that 7 kilometers. What you need to do is to get some of their products, a bee, for example.
As a commercial operation, Fadey also noted that beekeeping is self-sustaining.
Environmental pollution, all those stuff, you can get your accurate results when you work with bee. And that's what we're doing. Then there's also what we call epitherapy, where they use in some of the product, you can, like as I'm standing, virtually every week I inject myself with the bee venom. And is a wonderful therapy that boosts your immune system.
According to Funab Apiari, Supervisor Weto Matthew, working with bees can also lend valuable insight into water quality and levels of environmental pollution.
We are blessed with about more than 10,000 hectares of land. And we have various, you can see that our environment is green.
Well, quite interesting story right there from Nigeria and bees in Nigeria. You know, do you guys used to watch Nigerian films, you know? You see a bee around and you're worried, who's standing to be, you know? But onto our discussion today, the issue about organic farm inputs and its value chain. We have Lynette Wenjala, who's an agronomist, and also James Goiri, Director, IT and Marketing at AgroPest Solution. So, Lynette, to observe sort of what is happening qua ground, as people would put it, when it comes to organic farming, what have you been learning? What is coming out? Is organic farming understood amongst many farmers and what it entails? Or is it an aspect of, if I can make my own manure, I'm automatically an organic farmer?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, the information reaching the farmers, it's not as enough as it's supposed to be. Okay, what we are doing, we are still creating awareness, making sure that a farmer understands it's not about having a compost manure. It's about understanding the concept of organic farming. You can have the compost manure, but you are still using the synthetic fertilizers. So what you normally tell farmers, that we have outlets like the agrovets, such like James, we have the organic farm inputs. So a farmer will ask, are they having the fungicides, the foliar? I say yes, because they are there. So what we normally advise farmers to understand the concept of organic farming, more so agroecology, because you can be doing agroecological principles, but you might be lacking the organic farm inputs. Okay. That's now where James comes in as the agrovet, because they deal with organic farm inputs. I also take some from them. Okay. I go and use with farmers. Okay. So the farmers, they have to go beyond not just having the compost manure, but to understand the concept of organic farming.
Definitely. Yes. So it's holistic. It's not one aspect. You can address one aspect of the farming, of the production.
Sure.
But if it is not holistic, there are missing elements, then it sort of taints the whole circle, the completion of it.
Yeah.
James, you know, we go to agrovets and Aggregates are there to make money. It's business at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure.
And for the longest time, what we've used traditionally, especially when it comes to commercial scale production, as more people need to be fed, there's higher demand for the synthetic inputs, and also just marketing. They've done a very good job when it comes to marketing. But talk to me, how is the business in terms of organic vis-a-vis convention? How small, how large are we looking at here?
Yeah, thank you for that, Noah. So one thing that has been very actually detrimental in terms of the organic farming is the access of agro inputs, because you find that in most of the agrovetes, you can't find some of these products, and if you find them, then because of course you see it's a business, so you want to make more margins. So you find that the prices that are tagged in these products, that they're not very friendly to the farmer. So, and what we've been trying to do, is AgroPay Solutions, is trying to make sure that these products are available and at very good prices, because most of the companies that are coming in, as organic input suppliers, you find that they have very good inputs, but then they don't have someone who can link them with the farmers, right? So that is has been quite a challenge. And what we've done just to make sure that these products are, get directly to the farmer. Of course, we do have like an e-commerce, that helps a farmer in Wajir, can get products that are same as the farmer in Nairobi, right? So once you just go there, you just click on the product on the product that you want, and we can have it shipped, because that has been the biggest challenge in terms of knowing which product. So of course these manufacturers, they go do trials. Then those trials, the farmer see that they are good, but then where can I get this product? So that has been the main challenge.
Okay.
And where they get the price factor, that has been quite an enormous challenge.
All right.
Yeah.
So access to farm inputs, of course, organic farm inputs has been quite a challenge. Do a lot of farmers complain about that, Lynette?
Yeah, it's a problem also. It's a big challenge, because when I train farmers in Murang'a, they are looking for organic farm inputs. When I refer them to Nairobi, they're like, it's a lot. It's a long distance for us, you see. So it's all about maybe, or it's a channel whereby we now include the agrovetes near Murang'a to make sure that a farmer in Kerugoya is able to get an organic input from the nearest agrovet. Yes. So shortening the distance helps the farm also to access the farm input.
Okay.
Yeah.
That speaks of distribution of these particular products.
Yes.
It's still quite limited.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting to unpack that, especially from James's point of view, because you source these products from manufacturers. And when there is demand from the farmers, definitely you go looking out for them. So when there isn't, we can leverage, of course, on e-commerce, as you've mentioned, and we'll also unpack that. But when there isn't ready accessibility, it sort of taints that flow, the larger goal of achieving this food security and also producing the food, organically. So what we're going to do, we're about to take a short break. But when we come back, we unpack that issue of distribution challenge, and maybe also get to understand from a manufacturer's point of view, when it comes to costing, why are we having high cost to them, and what could be done to sort of bring that particular cost down so that if Noah wants to go into organic farming, I don't turn synthetic once I see the price tag. I'm like, oh, this one is too difficult. Let me deal with conventional ones, you know? So it will be interesting to look at that, and also look at local production vis-a-vis global players when it comes to production of these inputs, whether that is a factor that we have to take a look at based on your sourcing of some of these products. So that we will unpack right here at the Farm Kenya show. We want to take a short break. Remember, our discussion is about access to organic inputs. Maybe that's something that you're already into, or you're thinking as a farmer to start producing organically. The question is, where do you get these inputs, and why is it still a challenge within our ecosystem to the availability of this particular input? So let's take a short break. We return with more. Keep it KTN, keep it Farm Kenya.
Tumekuwa tukipanda spinach na spinach tumekuwa tukizipeleka kwa soko nje ya Surio. Tumekuwa tukizipeleka kwa hii hotel kubwa ya Beisa. We have been selling those spinach for a while, and wamekuwa wakitununulia na bei yenye iko sawa. It has improved our group because hiyo pesa tulikuwa tunapata hatukuwa tunapata ya kuuza spinach.
All right, that is Sauti ya Mkulima. And of course, right here at Farm Kenya, we are discussing the issue of organic farm inputs. And James, actually, while we were just chatting here, you said it's very important for us to clarify. It's not per se like we are demonizing synthetic inputs, but sometimes is the way the product is handled by the farmers. What did you mean by that?
Thank you for that, Noah. You find that most of the farmers, it's not as if these are the products that they've been introduced to. So that's one. So that's when they come to the outlet, so that is the first product that they know. So, and it is not as bad as, it is concocted. So, but the issue is how are farmers handling this? So we have products that, has a PHI, that is post-harvest interval, of about 3 days, we have 7 days, we have 14 days, we have 45 days. So it's about the issue of, are they observing that, right? Because you find a farmer who is spraying a certain pesticide that is supposed, it has a 7 days PHI, and then, they're taking that product to the market tomorrow. And that is what we are trying to sensitize a lot of our farmers. If you check our e-commerce, we have, blogs that we post. And on those blogs, we start with, we have both, the synthetic and the organic. So if you want to choose any of either, it's a free way. So, but for even the synthetic, we try to make sure that the PHI, if you start with a 45 days PHI, that you do it at the onset. When we are about now to take that product to the market, we have the 3 days PHI, we have a 1 day PHI. That is when now we even introduce the organic products, because you want, someone to consume that product. In as much as, you're farming, in anywhere in this country, and then you say that this product I'm not the one who is going to consume, but you have, relatives, in here in the city. So in as much as you sell that product and you say, for us, we have the products that we've grown for ourselves, and then let us take these products now to Nairobi, where anyone can take it. And that has been the biggest challenge in terms of, trying to have these very, bad kind of diseases, that are very detrimental in terms of the community and as a family. Okay. And once you get to that point, you find that these products, if they used safely, that is the word that we want to emphasize. If you use safely, that's okay. But in the wake of COVID, that's when we actually, most of the farmers tried, actually most of the people tried to see that, we need to go back to the farms. So once you go to that direction, then it is good first to make sure that the soils that we are farming are up to the task. Okay. Because you find most of the farmers, they're farming, but the soils are not up to the task. So once we understand what the soil needs, then that's when now we can start, introducing all these other products. Okay. Yeah, to the soil.
That's fair. I mean, Lynette,
yes.
In fact, you're telling me that when I go to the market, that I'm looking at tomatoes, I look at the best ones. I'm like, this one I can see a reflection of myself on the tomato. Then I'm like, this is the best. But you're saying that there is so much. Sometimes because you want, we love beautiful products as a people.
Yeah.
But also we don't have mechanisms. We don't have information as consumers to know that this is safe for us or this is not. As long as it looks good, most of the time we go. Yeah, I don't know. How do you advise us to go about this?
Okay, as James has said, that's the slogan. Ukienda kwa ground, most farmers choose the ones with poor quality. They say it's the safest one. But sasa kuja kwa soko, people will pick on the ones that are quality. Sure. So as James has explained about the application of the farm inputs, for sure farmers, they don't have the best information or they lack the information whereby they need to spray their products, their produce with this and this pesticide or fungicide at this period of time. So there was a research that was done last year in November about the chemical rate in tomato. And one of my best county that they took, it was on Kiambu, whereby they did a research. They took the tomatoes, they did the lab test. They found that the tomato had 11.5% of chemical used. So farmers need to get knowledge on how to apply these chemicals. And also the notion of separating the kitchen garden from the field of maybe doing agribusiness for the farmers. So that notion has been there and it is there. It's working for them, but for us consumers, it's not favoring us because there is no way you will say A is my kitchen garden whereby I'm growing the safer foods for my family, and B, it's for James and Lynette and the Keep or whoever. So we say that if I'm harvesting this tomato, I'm going to sell in Marikiti. I have a niece, I have a mother who lives the other end of the city. He or she will definitely pick that tomato and go and use it. So you haven't killed Lynette alone, you have killed even your relatives. So we are really championing for the safer also application of these farm inputs.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
James, when you come back to the distribution of these particular products, of course, leveraging on tech, it gives you an upper hand because the farmer just needs to go online and order the products and they're delivered after whichever number of days. But ideally, we are still in a brick and mortar country where you want to walk into an agrovet, into a distributor and find products. For organic products, it's not as widely distributed as it should. Talk to me, what do you think are the barriers to that distribution? Of course, when you're talking to to some of the regulators that are talking about limited number of products. So we don't have an array. Also, that might be a factor. But from a business standpoint, why are we not having so many organic products, and what can be done to sort of bring a widespread availability and accessibility to organic farm inputs for our farmers?
That's a very nice question. So, as you check in terms of how the market has been behaving in the recent past, you can find that accessing these products has not been easy. And is what we're trying to make this happen is if we can be able now to access that farmer who is, in a very remote area in the country, that will be the best, just to make sure. But because, for example, if you go to your nearest, village and try to source any organic product, most of the times you won't find that, because in terms of the marketing, of course, you have these giants that has been, marketing all these products. And in as much as we've said that we are not demonizing, those products, but we want to make sure that, these farmers, if these products can work, which are organically produced, then that would be the best for these farmers. And, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a market where even the farmers who are growing some of these products that can actually be harvested to make these organic products, they are incorporated into the system. So if you have those farmers, let's say they're producing this, X product, and then that is the product that is going to make this product that we're having. So once we have that, then we could have a revolving ecosystem around farming. So that most of the producers, especially in the country, so they usually, kind of come to us so that at least we can try to penetrate, certain product to the market. So, but when they do that, then the question is, are we able now to make sure that the farmer understands this product, how it is used, when it's supposed to be? Because we've had major questions in terms of when are these organic products supposed to be sprayed. And we've tested in even in our areas, of course, even in the synthetic world, you need to spray very early in the morning or late in the evening. If you spray some of these organic products, because you see some of these, they're organically produced, some of them are actually microorganisms. So if you spray, 12, p.m. or 1 p.m., and then with all that sun scorch and you know how the ozone layer has been depleted, so of course it won't work the way it's supposed to work.
Okay.
So what we need to make sure that the farmers understand is how are these products supposed to be used.
Okay.
And when we're coming to that, of course we need to come to the level, as I had mentioned, in terms of the soil, and then now we go to the seed.
Okay.
I know we've been having a very serious conversation in terms of the KEFI's regulations about the seeds, and how we actually, the next war is actually going to be in terms of the seeds, because in terms of if we allow some of these giants, to come and take all the market for the seeds, and let's say most of the seeds that we use here in Kenya, they're actually imported. So if we get all the seeds from there, and they say, we are not going to bring you the seeds, so where are we going to get the seeds? So we need actually, as a country, in as much as we're having all this, because the essence is we do not want to get the farmer fake seeds.
Okay.
That is the point.
All right.
But then, in as much as we are doing that, we need to make sure that we actually have our own seed banks, that we can bank on. In terms of if these guys, don't want to get us the seeds, because we've been doing that. I was just to point. I was talking to my great grandma, my mother, the mother to my grandmother. So, and she's still alive, and she was mentioning to me when we were growing up, so I was telling her that I deal, in agro industry, and in that industry we do provide, fertilizers and seeds and all that. And she was telling me, when I was growing up, we used to share the seeds, and we were getting good productions. We actually didn't even have this kind of pest, because the pest pressure has increased over the time.
Yes.
And if you're not growing, and if you depend on those people who don't want to grow with, how the ecosystem is growing, because we still have new pests that are coming into the market. We have the disease pressure. So we need to come up with ways, and if we can get organic ways, that would be the best.
Okay,
yes.
Definitely. And Lynette, when we talk about agroecology, it's holistic. As much as today we've talked about access to input, which is just one component of it. It starts from the soil, regenerating our soil. Help us put that in context so that people understand that organic farming, it's sort of a whole structure, foundationally from our soil and to the nature of seeds, even before we reach to inputs. Because yes, we are discussing about inputs, and it's very, very important.
Sure.
But you might miss on the soil level, at the seed level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will comment something on James's sentiments. There is this notion of fear, both the sides of the distributor or the agrovets and the side of the farmer. The farmer has fear of the organic farm inputs does not work. And also the distributor is also fearful. He cannot or she cannot purchase the inputs that does not move. Remember, she's in business or he's in business. And here we are pushing for both business and also life. So I just want to put across that organic farm inputs, they do work. It's all depend on patience, because these are the products that are made from crops, and the crops depend on nature. So if farmers and also the distributors can have the patience over the farm inputs. So I normally advise the agrovets or the agro dealers, if you have been given or approached by the organic person, take this product, single out your farmer. Let's do a demo with your farmer, the one that this is a potential client. Let's do a demo with him. Let's then give it time. After a short period of time, like 3 weeks, we are able now to see the results. We also, the same thing comes back to the farmers. We normally single out the farmers, we do demos. So when it works, it's now the farmer to make a choice of either moving to synthetic or continuing with the synthetic, or coming to organic way of farming. Now coming to the soil, the soil is a heart of production. So if the heart is affected, normally there is no production. Or if the heart is affected, there is no activity that normally happens in someone's life. So I normally take the soil as the womb that nurtures the seed. Then out of the seed, it's when a farmer gets production. Now, if the soil doesn't have the soil microbes, the organic matter is low. So what do we expect? We expect no production, because it's like the ones that helps in soil activities, they have been tampered on, the ratio has been reduced. Maybe out of 1,000 or 800, we only have like 200, which leads to less soil activities. So if the farmer can conserve the soil by making sure that the earthworms are okay, the soil activities are moving on well, then the soil definitely will have to produce.
Definitely.
Yes.
So the beauty of it is that you have to work everything in tandem. I know soil restoration, though, it takes a while, especially if you've been using a lot of synthetic products for a very long time, and you haven't been handling it very well. I don't know, a lot of farmers also in that stage where we've been doing production for a long time. Now you want to go into organics and you're being told, oh, wait, hold up. You need to sort of restore your soil. And how long does it take, briefly?
Okay, we normally advise farmers soil restoration for someone who has done like for synthetic for two too long, we normally say soil restoration can take even 2 years. Because for the farmer who has been doing the synthetic way of farming, the graph normally starts like flat. Then after 2 years, it's when the graph shoots. So it's very expensive for sure to restore back the soil fertility. So that's now when we advise farmers. It's all about patience. Organic farming is all about patience and just believing in what you are doing, because it lies on your patience, because you're dealing with something that you have no control over it. Nobody can control the soil and tells the soil, now it's time to produce, do blah, blah, blah. No, you have to give also the soil time, so that the soil restoration can also take place. But it's a bit expensive to restore back the fertility of the soil. Once it has been lost, the farmer will have to put in much to restore back the soil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in a different forum, we can just talk about soil restoration and what needs to happen.
Sure.
But James, even as we come, because we have close to 3 minutes, cost has been highlighted as one of the challenges when it comes to accessing organic farm inputs. And you guys need your margins at the end of the day and whatnot. It's not to paint you as evil, it's business again.
Yes.
But talk to me from your observation. What could be done to bring down the cost of organic inputs in the country?
Okay. Thank you for that, Noah. So one thing that could be done is we need to have regulations that are actually not very detrimental to organic products. So that is one of the things, and we need to have a conversation around organic farm inputs. And just to take this further, we even have farmers who actually want to use their money just to make sure that they try to use organic products that works. Like in the meantime, as we say, we are trying to do, a fully organic farming. Trying to produce onions, like for 3 acres at one of our farms, like Kenya farm. We are trying to make sure that we use all the organic products, and if it's more of experimental.
Sure.
As Lynette has mentioned, most of the farmers, when you want to go full blown on organic products, you find that at night they go and spray the synthetic products, and they come and tell you, this is what we've been doing, as organic. But we want to have a very honest conversation. Do we have organic inputs that can work? We actually have another supplier who want to bring on board an organic herbicide. We've never had that. There has been quite a breakthrough in terms of organics. For the first time in the country, we actually have Vericide. That is, actually even in the inorganic products, we don't have that. A product that can work on viral infections, which is organic. Nobody expected that. So we do have, such kind of products that are in the organic sector, but not so many people know about that. Even when you post into forums and you say, we actually have a product that can work on viral infections, people say, no, you need to control, the thrips, just to try and make sure that, they don't spread. But we tell them, just try it and see whether it works. And most of the farmers have used it and they think, it's actually quite, working quite very well. But the biggest issue is you've mentioned, Noah, when we're starting, is the availability and accessibility of these products. And that is one thing that we actually saw, and we've tried to make sure that we can combat that. And most of the farmers, when they try to access these products, we've given them a platform. We are in the digital end.
Yes.
So right now, most of the coincidentally, most of the farmers, they're seen as they are very old, and they don't have access to these kind of platforms. And I can tell you for a fact that about 60% of my farmers we've never met. we've been chatting, in WhatsApps, in calls,
Okay.
trying to provide solutions.
All
so
right.
that is the direction to go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Leveraging on digitization
Exactly.
to bridge that distribution and accessibility gap, and also opening up regulatory front to make sure that more players are coming in, and we are increasing, that access. I think with more players, that competitiveness brings down the cost at the end of the day, which is also very, very important. Unfortunately, our time has run out. I think this is a discussion that you can have till the cows come home, as people say. Yeah, cows that have eaten organic products. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Lynette Ranjala, agronomist, and James Goiri, Director IT and Marketing, AgroPest Solutions. Thank you for your input. My name is Noah Kipkimboy, and that's from Kenya for us today. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation over the past 1 hour. Bye-bye for now.